teach you how to 540 air in a quarter pipe. A lot of people have asked me to do a tutorial for this, so finally got around to doing it before it gets too cold and snows. So first I'll show you some clips of what it is, and then I'll go through explaining how to do it. Alright, so the first thing you gotta want to know how to do is to air out. Obviously, you can't really do this unless you know how to air out, unless you want to do it below coping, but it's not as cool that way. So step one, just learn how to air out. Next thing you're gonna want to do is before you even try this, you want to have 360s dialed, so like you can do them every try, you have a good feel for them, and you don't bail out on them. So when you actually go to do like a 540 and add that extra spin in, you're not going to get too scared or bail out because you already have an idea of a 360, so just adding in another 180, it's not too difficult. So when you're coming up to the quarter, when you're first learning them, you want to come with a decent amount of speed. You don't want to come with too much speed that you're going to air out too high and that you're going to get like scared and bail. Otherwise you might do something that looks like this. So that's what's going to happen if you're going to try and go like too fast at it and go too high with it, or when you try and spin too much too fast and like huck it around, you're just gonna like bail like that because you're not too confident with it. So you just want to try and work on it in steps, kind of. Don't go right for the 540 unless you're feeling really confident about it and that you can do it. The best thing to do when you're starting it is to carve a lot, and that way you don't have to get the full rotation. It's like a cheat. It's not the actual 540, you're just carving a lot, and it's more like a 450, even a 360, depending how you do it. So what I'm trying to say is, when you're first coming up to the corner to do them, instead of going straight up and landing straight down like you want to do, to start off, you're going to want to carve into it. So maybe carve in like 45-degree angle like this, or carve in more, carve in less, just carve an appropriate amount to that you're comfortable with. Alright, so like I said before, when you're first learning 540s, you don't want to go too high, but you don't want to go too low either. Try and go about coping height. Make sure it's on a quarter that you feel really comfortable with, that you can air out like no problem. And it'll just make things a lot easier if you do that. So try and go about coping height. And when you're first coming up to it, you're going to want to carve, and depending on how comfortable you are with the trick, you might carve a lot, you might not carve much. After you get it dialed, you're going to want to go straight up, then straight down to get the full rotation. But when you first start, you're probably going to carve a lot, so I would suggest carving like a 45-degree angle, or maybe a bit more or a bit less, depending on where you feel comfortable with. So you're going to come up to the corner with a good amount of speed, carve into it, and then just like when you air out, you're just going to use your speed and momentum to air you out. You're going to pop off and look directly over your shoulder, and then the biggest thing is just to stay committed all the way through the spin. If you don't stay committed, you're just going to bail mid-air. So stay committed. So pretty much you come up, carve, pop, turn your head over your shoulder, look over. If you spot your landing, and when you you spot it, that's where you're going to come down and land. And then once you finally get it, like you can actually do it, you might realize that you're not actually doing a 540, you're just kind of doing a 360 with a lot of carving. So it might look something like this. So if that's what it looks like, then for like when you first learn the trick, that's alright. But for an actual 540 that's not a 540, it's kind of like doing a hang 5 with your foot on the head tube. It's okay when you first learn it, but not when you really get it dialed. Like, it's not proper. So once you get that, you're just going to want to do it over and over and over again, and casually just try and carve less, spin more, go higher, and get more aired out as you go. So it's going to take some time. Like when I first learned them, I did them like 360 for a long time, and I didn't realize it. It felt like a 540, but I didn't realize I was carving that much. And then the more I did them, the better I got at them. Now it's just kind of like second nature to me. So just practice more, carve less, and that's about it. But yeah, big things, stay committed, because if you don't stay committed throughout the spin, you just gotta bail halfway through, and then it won't look good. So I'll show you another good one. So as you can see there, I went straight up, came straight down, got the full rotation, and that's how you do a proper 540 air. And yeah, so just go out, practice, and once you get them dialed, you can throw them into combos like 540 whips, bars, like decade airs, pretty much anything you want. Yeah, that's it. Alright, well, I was going to show you some combos, what you can do with 540s after you get them dialed, but it's way too cold, my hands are freezing, and I can't land anything. So I'm just going to show you clips from previous days. Yeah, anyways, that's it for 540s. Go out and learn them.